How long is your marriage green card case going to take? That's what we're going to talk about today. 2023 timelines are all over the place, and it varies depending on what kind of case you have. K1, K3, LPR 130, immediate relative I-130, which embassy you're dealing with. There's a lot going on, so I wanted to break down everything with my wonderful associate, Sarah Gaba. We're JK Law Firm, here to give you information you need to plan out the strategy for bringing your spouse to the United States. Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show again.
Thank you so much, John, for having me here. So today, guys, we're going to talk about what is faster in 2023, whether it's fiancé case or marriage case. And when we're talking about this, we have to be mindful of that there are at least two steps of the process. For fiancé visa, it's going to be even more. So first step is working with the USCIS Immigration Department. And now on your screen, you can see how much time it takes currently for those cases to get adjudicated with USCIS. So as you see, for I-129F, this is fiancé petitions, currently it takes 14.6 months to get this case done with USCIS. This is crazy. Like if you look at the 2 years ago, it was less than 1 year. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, look at 2020, it was 4.5 months. And a lot of people have friends who had approvals, and they'll say like, "Well, my friend got this case through so fast." It's different every time. It's that crazy. More than three times it took in 2020 that to adjudicate I-129. That's out of control.
Yeah, historically, a fiancé visa was always the faster option if compared to a spousal visa, but we will talk about it if it's the case in 2023. So if we're talking about I-130, this is immediate relative petitions, those that are filed by US citizens. So currently, as you see, it's 12.2 months. And it actually, when we're talking about processing timelines, for the most part, they're not reliable. But this chart is historical. It's the how much time it takes USCIS currently, and in previous years, how much time it took them to adjudicate this petition. So this is a statistical analysis. Okay, that's why we can trust.
Yeah, this is what we're seeing as well in our cases. And it's very frustrating because we took on cases like last year telling clients, yeah, it's going to be around 10 months or so. And then it's like 12 months, it's 12 months and even more, 13, 14 in many cases. And in both in this and in fiancé visa cases where we took on a case like a year ago, which was more like, 11, like we were expecting 8, 9, 10 months, going to 14, 6 months is very frustrating. But these are the facts on the ground. What we're seeing so far in 2023 based on USCIS statistics, timelines are really out of control. So what people hear all the time when they see from friends and from online say fiancé visa is faster, it's not the case right now. Maybe it was in 2018 and 2019 or 2020, but right now fiancé visas, for some unknown reason, K1 fiancé visa petitions, the beginning of it, are taking longer. We'll talk about step 2 and deal with the embassy as well, but those are a bad situation with USCIS. So expect that delay and judge accordingly whether you're going to just get married and get it done as opposed to doing fiance. Again, fiance visas, U.S. citizens only. Green card holders can't do fiance visas. But that's the situation.
Exactly, and don't forget that this statistics is for immediate relative cases, for cases filed by U.S. citizens. We don't have this information about cases filed by lawful permanent residents, but we can tell you from our practice that it takes even more than that, up to 2 years, 2.5 years currently with USCIS to adjudicate just the first step of this process.
Yeah, the delay going to 2 years, sometimes even 26 months for I-130s for marriage cases is just wild that I-130 is taking that long. Randomly, you'll see ones go 6 months or something. It's not unheard of for stuff that happen, but most cases when you're green card holder marrying a foreign person, want to do that I-130. Again, this is just the USCIS part. We're not even getting the embassy part. The delay's out of control. You got to expect this happening.
Plus, don't forget, like recently, Visa Bulletin retrogressed in F2A category. It's spouses and children of lawful permanent residents. So you have to deal with the USCIS processing timelines. Okay, as I said, it can take like 2 years for lawful permanent residence filings. Okay, and after that, if your priority date is not current, you would have to wait additional time for your priority date to become current, even though you will go through NVC, but embassy will not be able to schedule an immigrant visa interview unless your priority date is current. We don't know how much time it's going to take for Visa Bulletin to get back to the current for this category F2A. Again, hopefully it will, how it was for the past, I don't know, John, right? Like past 3 years, probably it was current.
Many years, yeah.
But it's no longer the case.
Yeah, so it's F2A, spouse of a green card holder, a child of a green card holder case. It's just not only is the I-130 taking a long time, getting your place in line and you moving that forward to get the visa, it's going to take 3, 4, or 5 years for these cases. I mean, your kid's going to be separated from you, your spouse going to be separated from you. It's a complete nightmare how this system is designed when it comes to especially spouse cases. Okay, let's see, the brother or sister, okay, it takes a while. Maybe even parents. Parents actually faster. But when your spouse is separated for this long, it's a terrible situation. Now, it gets, should we go in worse direction or the better direction? Kind of taking it back for a second. So we started with the K1 fiance visa, I-129F. We talked about the delays that exist there. There's a thing called the K3 petition. Again, citizens could only use this, but the idea was that if the I-130 is taking too long, if you're doing a marriage case, not a fiance case, it's a hybrid between a fiance and a marriage case. So you're married, I-130 may take too long, so you submit a K3 petition, same form, the I-129F. And the idea was if the I-129F gets approved first, you apply for a K3 visa, which allows you to get the visa maybe somewhat faster. Or if the I-130 is approved first, you just go the regular marriage route. A lot of this is confusing. It is confusing. Sorry, I hope I'm explaining it right. But for those watching who've heard the K3, very rarely, if ever, does someone actually get the K3 visa. I'm going to share my screen right now to show actual statistics from 2022 of how many people actually had a K3 visa interview at the U.S. Embassy abroad. There's only 16 of these cases adjudicated at the U.S. Embassy at K3. Of those 16, 5 were issued, 11 were refused. Refused doesn't mean denied. It might be the case with stalled, so we don't know exactly what that means, but 16 out of a lot, you know? So we don't expect the K3 visa to actually go through, and a lot of times it's not even worth going through because the K3 visa would require even more work and more payments and fees once the spouse enters the United States. But in sometimes we're seeing is when we submit an I-130 based on marriage to U.S. citizen, and we submit the K3 I-129 petition at the same time, instead of taking a year for the I-130 to be approved, they somehow fast forward and it gets done in 3, 4 months. So it's a strategy we use, and I would say 40% of the time works, but it's probably worth doing to speed things up. But that's a little trick that we're doing. We don't really expect the K3 to be approved, but because if it is, it creates a lot of work, and so I prefer people don't get that approved. But that option is there. Something a lot of people hear about here online. These are the facts of how it actually works out. So we covered the K1 fiance visa, covered the K3 marriage cases. You saw whether LPR marriage, green card marriage, how it is, citizen marriage, how it is. There's one more thing with USCIS we got to talk about. Anya, I'm going to leave it to you to talk about this because you're our I-284 queen. All the I-284 cases that are done by you. You're in the trenches fighting with this issue. So, I mean, I'll do an intro. The I-284 is if your case is stuck in the United States and we need to have it moved to the embassy. You have to actually pay money and have a request happen. 2 scenarios. One is, I'm kind of explaining for you. Sorry, why don't you go talk about your point-based scenario versus, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a separate video on I-284. We will leave the link below for that.
Good point.
It's really thorough. Please watch this, guys. Okay, but generally, this can add up to your processing timelines. If you have a mistake on I-130 in processing location, you can wait for additional like 1-2 years just to get the case moved from USCIS to the National Visa Center. So please watch this video. Make sure you don't do this mistake.
Yeah, don't do the error. And if you got your green card in the United States as an employment base, your spouse is overseas, and you got to do this. Even though it's your spouse is considered an employment-based case, there's delays with the I-284, there's delays with the embassy appointment, there's retrogression issues because of the preference category. At the end of the day, it's probably better you talk with an immigration attorney. If you have this situation, email us. Our email is info@jklaw.com, or email Anna directly. She's the one who's going to handle this and talk with you about it. Anna@jklaw.com, because it gets pretty complex. We got to sit and talk with you half an hour, an hour, just to go through all the different permutations, variations that exist. It gets complicated. But just know timelines are really bad, so it's a really bad situation. Thank you for watching this educational program. To get the latest videos, click the subscribe button and the notification bell icon. Also, help us help the immigrant community by liking this video and sharing it with your family and friends. You can also find us on other social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter, where you find the latest updates on immigration news, policy changes, and tips. Be safe and God bless. See you soon.